You're watching Ticket TV. Like, share, and subscribe on your way in. All right, y'all. This thing all the way bad, bro. This thing all the way bad, man. Remember last month when an old girl, uh, they basically dismissed her lawsuit, her case against Diddy. It was because I think it was a time limitation, a statute of limitation thing in a certain court. Well, Dirty Money don't came back and hit Diddy with a goddamn blicky. Lord have mercy, man. This right here, man. I don't think from what I'm seeing and from what's going on in this other trial that's going on right now with Keefe D, I don't think, bro, Diddy's in trouble, bro. Again, let's get to it, man. So according to reports, man, uh, there is more allegations out against Diddy, right? Hold on one second, you guys. Hold on one second. Give me a second. There's more allegations against Diddy out there, man. Um, this is a bad look, y'all. So, as y'all see right here on your screen, it says Sean Diddy Combs accused of groping Don Richard and locking her up in a car, man. Um, he, I don't see how he's gonna survive all this, bro. Let's get into it. Hopefully, everybody's doing well, man. I got a lot of news for y'all tonight, man. And this is bad. This doesn't look good right here at all. All right. So, according to reports, it says that there's a trigger warning. This article includes discussion of sexual assault with details. So there's a trigger warning on this, right? Um, so let's get to it. It says that Sean Diddy Combs is facing a new lawsuit from his former Danity Kane protege, Don Richard. The 43-year-old singer alleges that Diddy groped her without her consent and trapped her inside his Bentley. She alleges that she screamed for help and felt sheer panic, thinking that she might never get out. Her new lawsuit alleges that Diddy groped her and left her fearing for her life. To the person who says, I always say it's over, because it is. I mean, Diddy's in prison right now, and he's getting ready to get hit with another case if Keefe D is found guilty next week, which he's probably going to be found. And I'm going to show you this. So when I say this, let me call you out and put you on the screen just so you'll know what I'm talking about. When I tell you it's over, man. Right? See, they told y'all Diddy was going to walk home and everything was cool. Did Diddy walk home? Okay, then sit down and shut the hell up. Now let's keep going. Deshaun Richard's new lawsuit alleges that Diddy groped her and left her fearing for her life. Now, court documents obtained by Radar Online state that Richard filed a lawsuit against Diddy on August the 25th. She filed the complaint in New York Supreme Court under the city's victims' gender-motivated violence protection law. She's seeking both compensatory and punitive damages, and she has requested a jury trial. Richard, a former member of Danity Kane and Diddy Dirty Money, claimed that Diddy controlled her work, pay, schedule, and personal freedom. She alleges that Diddy repeatedly entered her changing room at Daddy's house recording studio between 2009 and 2011. And she said he entered while she was changing and undressed. She also alleges that he made sexual advances towards her. Her latest lawsuit comes after the court dismissed a previous case against Diddy on June the 15th. In that lawsuit, she accused him of emotional abuse and manipulation. She originally filed the civil case in September of 2024. The latest legal action comes as Diddy remains behind bars. He's serving a 50-month federal prison sentence after facing charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation for prostitution. Authorities list his release date is February 23rd, 2028. Officials have revised the date 4 times. They previously set it for April the 15th. After moving it up from April the 15th, 2028, his initial release date was June the 4th, 2028. But it gets worse. It gets worse. And I keep telling y'all this, man. I don't think people catch the full gist of what I'm saying. So if you didn't know, your ass better call somebody. Because we're going to talk about this right now. I think they're going to pack this nigga up, man. Didn't I tell y'all this? I think they're going to pack this nigga up, bro. Diddy could face criminal charges linked to Tupac's murder. Everybody's reporting on this shit now, bro. It's insane. It's insane. A new trial over the 1996 killing may open the door for prosecution of music mogul in relation to the case, legal sources suggest. I told y'all this. And you mofos come in here and get mad at me, and I tell y'all niggas the stone cold, unadulterated truth in this channel. And they come in here and get mad. Let me blow this shit up, man. Because I know some people are going to be like, I'm blind, Ticket. I can't see. Okay, I'm going to help you see. I be trying to tell y'all this, bro. This nigga got shit from every angle coming at him, bro. And what happened with Keefe D in court the last couple days, I'm going to show y'all why. I told y'all what they're going to do. They're going to pack Keefe D up. Then they're going to go get Keefe D and run and roll over on Diddy. I'm telling y'all this. I've been telling y'all what's going to happen the whole time. Then Gene Deal came out and said, hey, man, they want me to probably testify and put Diddy with Zip. What else are we talking about? What else are we talking about? Hold on, y'all. I don't know what else y'all talking about. Right? Let's just keep that 100. Right? At all times. We got to keep that 100. We got to keep that 100. Right? Hold on, y'all. So, let's get to this right now, y'all. Right? Sean Diddy Combs could face charges linked to the murder of rapper Tupac Shakur. Did I tell y'all this? And they come in here getting mad at me because I be telling niggas what's gonna happen. Nigga, it don't take a rocket scientist to see this shit. And they come in here getting mad at me. Hey man, what are you talking about, man? Nigga, I'm telling you the truth, nigga. You don't see this shit on your screen? Sean Diddy Combs could face additional charges linked to the murder of rapper Tupac Shakur following a new trial, legal sources have suggested. But these niggas come on YouTube and talk shit to me when I'm telling you what's real. 3 decades after Shakur was killed in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas at the height of his fame in 1996, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis is on trial for allegedly plotting the killing as a part of an escalating war between 2 LA gangs. The prosecution case hinges on Mr. Davis's own claims to police and documentary interviews and a memoir that sought out Shakur after his nephew was targeted as part of a rival gang feud. Right? They also allege that he was in a white Cadillac from which the fatal bullet was fired and that he tossed the gun to the rapper's killer. During a secret recording made by the police in 2008, Mr. Davis has apparently described how he and other members of the Southside Compton Crips gang hunted down and shot Shakur in late 1996. Shout out to the brother Quantine Recordings. Salute to you, brother. $100 donation to PayPal. Appreciate it, dog. And everybody else that be showing love to my channel. Y'all already know what it is. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Y'all know what it is, man. Salute to everybody who be in their real hard body style. Let's keep going, y'all. In that secret recording, which is also has been entered into evidence in his trial, Mr. Davis also apparently alleged that Combs, currently serving a 50-month jail sentence for federal prosecution charges, offered him $1 million to kill Tupac. If prosecutors manage to convict Keefe D, didn't I tell y'all this? I've been telling niggas this shit, bro. And niggas don't want to listen to your boy, man. This shit is sad. You come on the internet. You tell people this stuff, and they still don't want to listen. They still want to be ignorant. It's sad. Let's keep going. If prosecutors manage to convict Mr. Davis, that's Keefe D, y'all, it gives the green light to take action against Diddy, a source close to the district attorney's office. What else we talking about, nigga? I tell these niggas, man, stop playing with me and put some respect on my name. Y'all be listening to these goofies out here, man. I'll tell y'all the truth, whether you like it or not. It's a like it or not thing. I've been sitting on here telling these bums all this whole time that they was gonna pack Keefy D ass up and then roll him into Diddy. I told y'all that. Right? Told y'all that. This is what happens when you don't want to listen. You speak the truth, and they don't like the truth. Read that again. A source close to the district attorney's office. That's right at the fucking DA office, nigga. Didn't I tell y'all that? Them niggas be getting mad at me, though. I told y'all, them niggas got hella motivation to pack him up. You think they gonna go at Keefy D and then lay down, nigga, and say, yeah, nigga, we won? No, nigga. They gonna go straight after Diddy. I'm telling y'all this shit. I don't already seen how this whole shit been lined up, bro. The worst thing Keefy D did was open his mouth. If Keefy D would have never said nothing, we ain't never here today. You got people on the internet mad at everybody else except for Keefy D. Except for Keefy D. Nobody else made Keefy D go talk to the cops. He did that shit on his own. Nobody else then made Keefy D go and talk on the internet. Nobody else made Keefy D write a book. Think about this shit, bro. And y'all mad at everybody else except for Keefy D. Y'all talking about everybody else except for Keefy D. Think about that. Now, he getting ready to get your boy packed up. I told y'all this. And this is the reason why they stopped the trial early. They shut the whole trial down early, y'all, because they said, you know what? We ain't trying to confuse and give up our hand. What we going to do is we're going to go ahead and just focus on Keefy D right now, get him convicted, and then we going right for Diddy. I'm telling y'all, Diddy knows this shit. Diddy knows this shit, bro. I guarantee you his lawyers have already prepped him for this shit, bro. Prosecutors allege that Tupac was killed in retaliation for the rapper and his entourage beating up Mr. Davis' nephew, Orlando Anderson, earlier that night. And that Mr. Davis bragging about his involvement in the killing of the rapper is true. Combs has previously described the allegations as pure fiction and completely ridiculous. The long-running feud between Combs and Shakur in the 90s largely stems from an armed robbery where Shakur was shot. He believed he had been set up by Combs and his associates, with the situation only further escalated by the release of a single by Christopher Wallace, better known as Notorious B.I.G., Who Shot You? If a jury believes that Keefy D was telling the truth about his role in the killing, the conviction could add credence to his claims about Diddy's involvement in a parent offer. I told y'all this, right? And then niggas coming here, they don't know what they be talking about, arguing with a nigga. The door remains open on what charges would be made against Diddy. But if the jury convicts Keefy D, then it gives a green light to take action against Diddy, the Clark County District Attorney's Office source said. Nigga, right out the DA's office, nigga. Ain't nigga come get mad at me, nigga, because I tell y'all the same shit. First. I come and tell y'all this first, and they go, nigga hate. No, how, nigga? Now the white man is telling you that shit coming from the DA's office. Just say my sources is the best. Just say that. Just say, Ticket, your sources, they the fucking best. I done told y'all this. They ain't coming here and want to argue with your boy. Mwah. This is why I be cooking these people every single day on this channel, y'all. Because they full of it, man. They come in here capping every day. And I stir fry them every single day, y'all. It ain't even funny how I be stir frying these cats, y'all. But let's keep going, y'all. It says the strategy has remained not to bring matters in relating to Combs. Once again, this is what happened right here, y'all. Didn't I tell y'all this shit? Didn't I tell these niggas this? Read this right here, y'all. I told y'all when they went and abruptly ended their prosecution yesterday, played Keefy D calling dude a rat. That's because they didn't want to tip all their hands to Diddy on everything they got. They felt like they got enough to get Keefy D right now. Once they get Keefy D, they're going to go get Diddy ass out of here. Read right here. And this is a quote, my nigga. This is not ticket. This is a quote from the DA's office. The strategy has remained to not bring in matters relating to Diddy's alleged role in all of the matters at this stage because it would confuse the case and perhaps a jury. Did I tell y'all this? That's the reason why they called off Kirk Burroughs and all them. This is the reason why they didn't force all those other people in here. They want to get Keefe D convicted first and then go for Diddy. Once they get Keefe D convicted for murder, then they can go in a federal RICO murder for hire case, try to roll Keefe D into Diddy, have everybody else have to go in there and testify under federal rules, and then pack Diddy ass up on a murder for hire RICO beef. Federal RICO murder for hire beef. This is what they're gonna do. I'm trying to tell y'all this. And with Keefe D getting convicted, it would prove that Tupac Shakur was murdered. And it would already link because those facts would have been proven in the case that was linked to gang activity that was linked to both of those record labels. This is why they cut it off the other day. They played that tape from Keefe D. And I'm going to show y'all something. Y'all smash the like button, share the video. I'm going to show y'all something. This is why I tell everybody watching this channel, study to show yourself approved. If you haven't studied, don't come in here running your mouth to me, my nigga, at all. I told y'all what's going to happen. Right? Michael Sanft, Keefe D's defense attorney, argued during his opening statement, right, on Monday that the reason his client wasn't charged earlier over his admissions is that the investigators knew he was full of crap. He's a liar. And I'm going to tell y'all why Keefe D's lawyer is a liar. I need y'all to understand this. Keefe D's lawyer says, oh, the reason why he wasn't charged because he was full of crap. Guess what, y'all? Guess what, y'all? Yeah, I said they called off Kirk yesterday. Pretty babe. Go listen to my video yesterday. As soon as they called it off, I said, before they called, I said, yo, they called off Kirk. Keefe D called Reggie Wright Jr. a fucking rat in court. They called off Kirk, played that video right to the jury, and said, look at what this man said in the open court. We done with this case. Then, today, Keefe D's own witnesses cook his ass on the stand. Keefe D's lawyer in his opening, he's toast. That nigga said that they didn't charge Keefe D because they know he was full of shit. Keefe D's own witness today destroyed that. His own witness went in court today and said, no. We didn't do that because he was full of shit. The only reason why we didn't charge his ass is because he had that damn proffer. Keefe D's own witness said that in court today, nigga. He said that we already had the paperwork to charge Keefe D for murder. He said as soon as I got finished talking to Keefe D, I went to go to the bosses to get the paperwork to charge him with murder. He says, and I was told to hold off because of that proffer. Not because they didn't have evidence to charge Keefe D with murder. You don't believe me, mofo? Well, let's do it. Starch and clean, hopping out looking good. I still represent the same neighborhood. Let's get right to it, man. Right? Because something wrong with y'all. I'll tell y'all this right now, man. Y'all ain't coming here, man. Y'all arguing with a big dog, man. I'm a big dog. You understand what I'm saying? This man right here, he stir-fried that nigga, man. Straight up, bro. Let's get to it, man. You know what I'm saying? The whole world like ticket, where the F you been? On vacation. Riding in the middle.
And he told me that...
Let's get to it.
Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe, was in the interview room. He had his attorney present, whose name was Wayne Higgins. And we were going to go in and he was going to give me information. And he further explained that Keefe had got caught with a large amount of narcotics and was trying to work off those charges.
Now, sir, and just to cut you off at that part, I apologize. But with regards to that information, at some point you conduct an interview in that room.
Yes.
Y'all see how Keefe D's lawyer tried to stop him in the middle of what he's saying. He knew Keefe D. He knew that police officer. This is Keefe's own witness. He knew that police officer would get ready to cook Keefe right then. So he stopped him. He was like, no, I don't mean to stop you. He cut his ass off right in the middle when he was going to cook him. But guess what? The prosecution was so smart. They were so quick on their feet. They doubled back and made sure that he said what they wanted him to say right there. Let's keep going.
With Mr. Davis?
With Mr. Davis, with his attorney. My lieutenant didn't want to go in, so Darren Dupree agreed to go with me.
All right. And there was a recording. Did you record the meeting?
I did.
Okay. And is that just standard operating procedure for what you do as a detective?
Yes, I was told that they were going to record it also.
He cooked another thing. Keefe's lawyer said, "Was that standard operating procedure?" He said, "Yeah, it is for us to record." They tried to make it seem that the recording was illegal and shit. I told man, them niggas got cooked by their own effing witness. He going to bro. They packing this nigga all the way up. Go ahead and get the movers, man. This nigga got a permanent spot in prison, nigga. Let's keep going.
But I wanted to record it myself. That way I have it in my hands.
Okay. And during the course of that meeting, you learned information, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about the interaction here? Were you ever asked to leave the room?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us why you were asked to leave the room?
Mr. Davis became very nervous. I was asking questions that he didn't feel comfortable with.
You know why? Because Keefe D knew that that man was not in on his original proffer. So the fact that he wasn't in on his original proffer, Keefe D didn't trust him and didn't want to talk around him. I figured this shit out. This is what happens when you the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be talking this shit, boy. I figured out what happened. Keefe D had already given a proffer, which meant Keefe D, as long as he didn't speak publicly about this shit, he was protected from being charged. So when this guy comes in there asking Keefe all these questions, he wasn't privy to know that Keefe D had already had a proffer agreement. So he's like, hold on, this motherfucker saying all this shit. Then they asked him, the white dude that's on y'all screen, to leave the room. That way they wanted to talk to Keefe D and assure him, nah, we'll handle it, dog. Don't worry about it. Use your brains. So then they call him back in the room. And when they call him back in the room, this is what happened.
Which is to be expected. And he asked me to leave the room. He wanted to talk to his attorney and he wanted to talk to Detective Dupree. I then stepped out of the room for not very long. And then they asked me to come back in.
That's why he stepped out the room. Because remember, Dupree was the one that was originally in there for the proffer. So Keefe is checking with his lawyer and Dupree like, hold on, man. I don't want to say this shit in front of this dude. I don't know this dude like that. Shit, this motherfucker, he might not, because he had a proffer, right? Right? You not listening to what I'm saying? So now, while he goes out, they assure Keefe D, yo, don't worry, we ain't gonna let you get charged. Don't worry. But this cop, he still didn't fucking know. So what do? You're gonna find out what he did. This is Keefe D's own witness. This cop, that's Keefe D's own witness. What he does is, and they didn't know he was gonna say this in court because Keefe D's lawyer tried to cut him off. All he wanted him to do is say that, oh no, we didn't charge him. So Keefe D's lawyer could run around saying, see, they didn't have anything to charge him. They couldn't charge him. But the prosecution caught that shit. They caught it. They intercepted that shit. The same time I intercepted it, they intercepted it. And this is what happened.
Was there ever a time that you left the room and was accompanied by Mr. Dupree and only had Mr. Higgins and Mr. Davis in the room by themselves?
I don't recall that.
Nope. He said nope.
So every time you left, Mr. Dupree was in the room with Mr. Higgins and Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Look at Keefe D. Keefe fucked up. He fucked up. He wanted that man to say that they left them two in a boy. This is the shit y'all don't see. This is why you got to understand what you're looking at and what you're looking for. You have to be a real thinker. Once again, if you're not a thinker, you're not going to figure this shit out. If you're a basic mofo, you ain't never going to figure this shit out. Right? Now, I want y'all to listen to this. Listen to this right here. Look at Keefe. Look how Keefe's looking like. That nigga looking fuck right now, bro. Because he like, yo, why is he asking? Now, let's keep going.
Now, at some point, you were able to learn some information.
From Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
When you came back, did you corroborate any of the information?
I tried.
Okay, and what did you do?
Now, look how Keefe D's lawyer tried to be slick. They caught him right there too, y'all. He says, oh, well, you heard some information from Keefe D, right? Meaning information about the murder of Tupac Shakur. He said, hey, man, did you corroborate? Did you corroborate that? He said, man, I tried to. Now, remember, he's talking damn near years later, damn near 10 or 15 years later is what he's talking about, right? So he's like, yo, I tried to corroborate it, but I mean, it wasn't too much I could do, right? Keefe D's lawyer thought he was smart enough to walk off and leave that shit like that. The prosecution came back and said, no, we're not going to do that. You couldn't figure this out, but did your prior colleagues? And he said, yes, they did. Game, set, match. He ethered their whole argument because he let the whole court know that they had already investigated Keefe D and got the evidence on Keefe D before he even got on the case. And that destroyed everything Keefe D's lawyer trying to say, that they didn't do or didn't have any of these things, and that's the reason why they didn't arrest Keefe D. Listen, because that's when he told the prosecution on cross-examination, he told the prosecution, he was like, oh, yeah, shit. As soon as I heard what Keefe D said, that lined up what we said. I was going to type up his arrest warrant right there.
What did you do? What efforts did you make?
During the interview, Mr. Davis indicated first that Orlando Anderson or Baby Lang had been beat up at the MGM, which we all had video of.
Hold on, let me answer this question, you guys. I like it when people ask me questions, and I don't want to cut it off, but I like when people ask questions that I can answer real good. You said, what's up with that cream-colored or white-colored Cadillac seen at Suge Knight's residence that night? Doesn't mean anything. They tried to make it seem like that Suge was in there. They could have seen anybody Suge was in there. Remember, there could have been a number of white cream Cadillacs. It's just like you got Kias. How many Kias you see out here every day? Right now. So, like, even back then, how many Impalas would you have seen back then? Everybody was driving an Impala back then, right? So you have to think about it like that. But they couldn't put nobody in that car as far as Suge Knight or none of them people. You know why? Because to the person who said that, and let me say this to you again, to the person who said that, right? I'm going to come back in a few minutes and tell you why that backfired on them. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I think everybody on the planet has seen this video. He was complaining that his arm was either broken or out of socket. He first told me that they had gone back to California and had gone to the hospital in California. But he said they went to the hospital on Maryland Parkway, and the hospital on Maryland Parkway is Sunrise, and that he had gotten a sling for his arm. So I filled out a subpoena, and I wanted to know if Orlando had signed in, was examined in any fashion. And now we're talking.
Now, look how this backfired. So he was put on the case years later, right? This was after the prior detectives were already on the case, right? So his evidence that he's trying to find is like 10, 15 years later, bro. You're not going to be able to go to the hospital and see at that time, yo, let me see if Orlando Anderson came in here in 1996. So Keefe D's lawyer thought, oh, yeah, we finna skate free on this. We got a cop that's going to say that he investigated and couldn't find shit. Nope. The prosecution sniffed that shit up and picked that shit off. Pick 6, touchdown, nigga. The prosecution came back and said, no. You're right. You came on the case 10 to 15 years later. You didn't confirm that. But did your other officers and colleagues confirm that? And he said, yes, they did. Game over.
This is 2009. We're talking about somebody coming into the emergency room in 1996. So I didn't find anything. They couldn't apply. They couldn't give me anything with
You said,
Orlando's name
I
on it.
didn't find anything. Listen to the key words, y'all. I didn't find anything. Doesn't mean that we, the department, didn't find anything. And the prosecution sniffed that out immediately. And this is the reason why they smoked Keefe D in court today. Let's get to it.
We were looking into, there was a rented Cadillac, rented in Compton by a friend of the gang. Her name was, or her daughter's name. There was a woman by the name of Harris, and first name could have been Teresa, could have been Tessa. And again, we're talking multiple years later. But I called down trying to locate a Cadillac that was rented in 1996. They said it was a friend of the gang. So it's very possible that there was no paperwork on it. But we're going to try. I called multiple rent-a-car places because he couldn't remember which rent-a-car place it was. I never found anything connected to that date or those dates around that for a
I never
four-door
found. Listen, y'all.
Cadillac of any kind.
Now, in addition to that, sir, did you ever run at some point any names to determine, sort of help you out with the landscape?
Boy, Keefe about to think he about to get away with a win, boy. Keefe and they're like, yeah, man, come on, tell him you ain't find shit. Keefe.
Of who's who and what's what. For instance, did you ever run a name by the name of Darnell Brim?
Oh, you're talking about before the interview.
Yes.
When I received the call that we were going to go down and do an interview, I ran everybody that was in the file. And the purpose of that being is if I'm in the middle of an interview and he mentions somebody, I might have information, this person's in jail, this person's dead, this person's in prison. Those could be very useful to me in the middle of an interview. When I go into the interview, I'm going to be acting very non-informed. I don't know anything. Please tell me. So he's like, okay, we're talking about Pac. Okay, who's Pac? Well, Tupac Shakur. Okay, so I'm going to do that through the entire interview. But if I have more names and more information, I at least know what he's talking about, so I can direct him in the right direction to give me a full name or a full description, whatever it may be. So I ran quite a few people before I went down there.
Okay. So at some point you leave that interview and you come back to Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Were you ever aware that in 2008, Mr. Davis gave a proffer to the FBI, DEA, Compton PD, LAPD?
While I was there?
Yes.
No. I was told that
he's right. He didn't know why he was there. And this is why Keefe D got destroyed today. Listen to what happened next, y'all.
Told that he had been Dwayne Davis was arrested on a major drug case, and he was facing the rest of his life in prison. And he was trying to work that case off. So when I was sitting out there and I learned that he's sitting there with his attorney, I'm like, he's not going to tell me anything. And they're like, well, he's trying to work this off, and it's about Tupac. And I'm like, all right, let's try this. So we went in. But we finished, we made a drive over to Plaza One. Then we left. I received some phone calls at that point and received more information when we got back to Vegas that there could be possibly a proffer, which made no sense to me.
When he got back to Vegas, now he said it made no sense to him. Why they would give this type of clown a proffer? It made no, you know why? Because he was a good cop. He said, why would you give this guy a proffer? like this guy killed Tupac Shakur, I think. Why would you give him a proffer? Now listen, y'all.
One final question for you, and it's unrelated to anything that we've asked so far.
Sure.
The question is this: are you aware of a program here in town called Barry's Boxing?
I've heard of it.
Okay. I have no further questions, John.
Yes, Mr. DeJohnson.
Detective, how are you?
Game
Good.
over.
How are you, Mark?
Now listen to this, y'all. Game over right here. This is how I know the prosecution was on game today. See, when you watch this type of shit, this is how you know the prosecution is on game. Watch this right here. Watch how he come on defense.
How are you, Mark? I'm Mr. DeJohnson.
You went
Look
to
how Keefe
homicide
looking.
in 2000, correct?
That's correct.
And Mike Franks and Brent Becker.
Y'all watch Keefe face the whole time. That nigga is sick. What's about to happen?
Brent Becker. Well, I guess Mike probably retired before Brent went up, left the unit, correct?
Well, he trained me for a while. Mike was preparing to retire, so the desk I was going to get was his. And I was trying to soak up as much as I could from him because he was a very, very senior detective. Him and Brent Becker were very, very good detectives, so I was trying to suck up as much as I could. That was the squad I was going to anyway.
And when Sergeant Manning hands you the Tupac file, you already had an understanding from Mike Franks and Brent Becker of who you thought was in the car.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So he said, hey, we already had a thought about who we thought was in the car. And remember, that lines up to what Keefe D said in the interviews. Keefe D said, yo, how could I be snitching if when I went in the room, they already had everything on the wall, man? They already had everything. If you look at that wall, it'll fuck you up mentally. This is what Keefe D said. All right, they had everything in that wall. Peep game now. So now his own witness tell them, hey, man, we already knew he was in the car. Let's keep going.
And when Mr. Davis in 2009 tells you that, it's the same people.
Yes, sir.
He said, so when Keefe came and told y'all this, it's the same people that y'all already thought was in the car anyways. He said, yeah, that proves that they had already investigated before Keefe even told them anything. They knew who was in that fucking car. That's why I be telling y'all these niggas is cap. Let's keep going.
And when Mr. Davis in 2009 tells you that, it's the same people.
Yes, sir.
The same people. How the fuck do the police have the same people in the car before they even talk with Keefe D? If they didn't do no investigation. People ain't got a brain on the internet, man. They ain't got a brain on the internet, man. Let's keep going, man. Because this shit get ugly. Let's keep going.
And when Mr. Davis in 2009 tells you that, it's the same people.
Yes, sir.
I think Mr. Sam maybe missed one of your trips to Compton prior to, I guess, November of 2004 when he died. In early 2004, did you try and make contact with Big Dre Smith?
Yes.
And describe that for us.
I was with actually a gang squad, and this is during the time when you can read it all. You can read all this information, but it's better if you go down there and look at it, so I went down to look at it. They were taking me on a tour, most of Compton. They took me to the car wash where Orlando died, that kind of thing. While we were driving by the Emerson Elementary School, which is right in the center of the Compton Creek turf. Some of the guys I was driving in the back seat and taking notes. They said, there goes Big Dre, DeAndre Smith, which is somebody that's obviously in Brent Becker's files. And he was walking through the field, the grass field. So I was like, well, stop, let me talk to him. You got to try. I have no probable cause. I have no legal right to make a stop. I'm not even in my jurisdiction, but I can try. So I stepped out of the car and I said, Mr. Smith, I'm Detective Long from Las Vegas. And he said, F you and F off. He's not censoring what he said. And he just lumbers across the field. So I had no reason to stop him. So I just waited.
Now in 2009,
Look at Keefe.
you wind up in a room with Mr. Davis, and your belief is he's trying to work off charges. What
Yes, sir.
does that mean?
He's looking at the rest of his life in prison for what they had caught him with. So if he gives substantial information about cases, and that's what they had brought him in for, was to give information about cases. One of the cases was the Wallace case.
I told y'all that the other day. I said, yo, they didn't even call Keefe D about the Tupac case. This is a big piece of this case right here. I keep telling niggas this, and they don't listen. When they wanted to talk to Keefe D, it wasn't even about the Tupac case. They wanted to talk to Keefe D about the Biggie Smalls murder. They thought Keefe D was a suspect in the Biggie Smalls murder because Keefe D had reportedly had a falling out with Bad Boy. And they thought because Keefe D was there the night that Big got killed, and due to the fact that he ended up having beef with those guys, they thought Keefe D had something to do with the Biggie Smalls murder, which he did not. Keefe did not. But in that meeting, when they was talking about Biggie, Keefe D is the one who gave him the information on Tupac. Remember, they were in California, not Las Vegas. The California Police Department, the LAPD, they were investigating the Biggie situation. So they wanted information from Keefe D about that Biggie situation to see if they could get that packed up. Keefe D said, nah, we ain't do that. We did the other one. That's why they played that tape in court. He said, well, nah, that one wasn't us. Then the cop told y'all, the black cop, he was like, well, what you mean? That one wasn't y'all. Which one was y'all? And that's when Keefe D told them about Tupac. Then when they called Vegas, they found out that Vegas already knew a lot of this information about Keefe D. Use y'all brains. Let's keep going.
Case, Notorious B.I.G. During this part of it, he started telling them about Tupac. And this
told y'all during that part, that's when that nigga started talking about Tupac. I've been telling y'all this shit the whole time, and niggas ain't gonna want to listen to your boy. That's why I said nigga going to prison, boy. He was in there telling the cops. They was trying to talk to him about Biggie. He said, nah, that wasn't us. They said, well, that wasn't you. He said, nah, that one wasn't us. They said, well, which one was? And there was only one other one, and that was Tupac. And that nigga started telling them about Tupac. And when they started talking to Vegas, Vegas already knew this. This is why I'm trying to tell y'all. And that's why Keefe D, he wasn't charged because he had a proffer agreement. As long as that nigga didn't talk out loud, he wasn't going to be charged for the murder. They had enough to charge him back then. That's the point. That's why he's going to prison and his lawyers got ethered in court because his own witness admitted in court today he had enough evidence to charge Keefe D with murder and arrest him with murder right then. Let's go.
Case, Notorious B.I.G. During this part of it, he started telling them about Tupac. And this is in 2008, I believe. So that's what I was told.
But essentially, and I want to talk about specifically, what is just working off your charges? Does Metro have certain rules, let me ask you, about working off charges and how you work off charges?
Yes. And a non-victim crime, you can work off charges. You can't work off a murder. You can't work off a sexual assault. You can't work. Those are victim crimes.
That's why, hold on. Are y'all getting this now? That's why this is the best fucking witness. Keefe D's witness was the best witness, one of the best, most credible witnesses, and he ethered Keefe D. Why? Because he was an honest police officer trying to do his job. Keefe D's legal team made a big fucking mistake calling this guy to the stand. You know why? Because he was honest. He sat right there and told the jury, I didn't even have any jurisdiction to talk to Big Dre. I just wanted to see, hey man, if he'll say a word to me. He said I didn't have no grounds to arrest him or anything. He told you exactly what happened with him and Big Dre. The truth. Then on top of that, he's thinking, Pete, why they asked him this question. You have to have a brain. Listen, I'm telling y'all this. You have to have a brain to know what's going on. He's such a good cop. He just told y'all, and it went over everybody's head in this comment section. He told y'all that you're not supposed to be able to work down or work off any time for a murder. Let me play this again, right? So why was Keefe D in there able to talk about a murder and not get charged? Think about that. Unless that prophet was doing some crazy shit. Now listen to this now. That's why he was out of his mind when they wouldn't let him charge Keefe D based off the evidence and off Keefe D's testimony. He was out of his mind. They didn't let him charge Keefe D. Let's get to that right now. Listen very closely, and you'll see this is a good cop. And he said that. He was like, man, the fact that they wouldn't let me charge Keefe, I was like, what? You could tell he was really sincerely ticked off. Listen to this right here, y'all. This is the key point in this trial right here. Listen.
The rest of his life in prison for what they had caught him with. So if he gives substantial information about cases, and that's what they had brought him in for, was to give information about cases. One of the cases was the Wallace case, Notorious B.I.G. During this part of it, he started telling them about Tupac, and this is in 2008, I believe. So that's what I was told.
But essentially, and I want to talk about specifically, what is just working off your charges? Does Metro have certain rules?
What is working off your charges?
About
listen, rules.
Working off charges and how you work.
Listen now.
Yes, and a non-victim crime, you can work off charges. If you can't work off a murder, you can't
work off a murder.
Sexual assault, you can't work
off a murder. So how the fuck was Keefe D giving a proffer? That's why he was mad as a motherfucker. How y'all get this motherfucker a proffer on a murder beef? That's why he was mad. Listen now. This is a good cop. Keefe's cooked. Listen.
Those are victim crimes. If you have a victim, you can't work off those charges. But if you have something else that, like a lot of drugs, you could work off maybe the amount of years you're going to do by giving substantial case information on other cases. So that's what I believe that Mr. Davis and his attorney were trying to do, was to knock off a certain amount of time off of what he was going to spend in prison.
And you know, or at least you believe, you'd agree with me, that Mr. Davis was a suspect in your homicide, not a witness.
Yes, sir.
A suspect, not a witness. Game over. Listen now, because this shit get even more devious now. So the cop, Keefe D's own witnesses admitted to y'all, oh, he's a suspect in Tupac's murder, not a witness. Now listen to this next part. This is Keefe D's own witness torpedoed his ass in court today, annihilated his ass. Let's keep going.
And by the end of that interview, what is your intent?
My intent was to drive back to Las Vegas, type up a warrant for an arrest, clear it with the district attorney, and have Mr. Davis arrested for murder.
Game over. How could you do that if you didn't have any proof? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's good being me, motherfucker. Because I'm just that nigga. Didn't I come on here and tell y'all I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be breaking this down? Ain't nobody else break this shit down. They can't catch this type of shit like I caught it for y'all, man. Straight up, man. Keefe D's own witness, his own witness in court today, annihilated him. His own witness let the whole court know, man, I had enough evidence to charge that nigga with murder right then. That destroys Keefe D's lawyer's whole argument that they didn't have enough evidence to charge Keefe D. And Keefe D's lawyer said, that's why they didn't charge him. They didn't have enough evidence. His own witnesses weren't going to stand and said, no, motherfucker, I was going to get his ass charged right then. I had enough right then to charge his ass with murder. Listen. And he going to tell you why he didn't do it. That's why he was so mad when he found out that they gave Keefe a proffer agreement. This is the reason why you don't even see Greg Kading in this. They didn't even call Greg Kading up there because they knew that proffer agreement. Keefe D wasn't supposed to get that proffer agreement. Not for no murder like that. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. This one. See, Keefe D made a mistake. Shouldn't have called this cop. That the prosecution lawyer. Yeah, he caught that shit. Pick 6, man. He intercepted that shit, took that shit right to the house. Let's keep going, y'all.
Information on other cases. So that's what I believe that Mr. Davis and his attorney were trying to do, was to knock off a certain amount of time off of what he was going to spend in prison.
And you know, or at least you believe, you'd agree with me, that Mr. Davis was a suspect in your homicide, not a witness.
A suspect,
Yes, sir.
not a witness.
And by the end of that interview, what is your intent?
My intent was to drive back to Las Vegas,
Look at his face.
type up a warrant for an arrest, clear it with the district attorney, and have Mr. Davis arrested for murder.
You can't be. And he looked at the jury when he said that shit. And these motherfuckers come on the internet telling y'all somebody don't know what they talking about, man. But they finna pack all these niggas up. I try and tell y'all this shit, bro. Y'all niggas, bro, this is Keefe D's own witness that buried him in court today. His own, that motherfucker looked right at the, he looked right at the jury and told them, I will charge this motherfucker with murder. Period. They were gonna charge everybody. That right there was a breakthrough moment in the trial. Because everybody's wanted to know for years, why ain't nobody been charged in Tupac's murder? The cop is letting them know, man, we had evidence to arrest Keefe D for murder then. They didn't do it because of that fuck ass proffer agreement. Listen to what he tell y'all. And he felt so ashamed because you can see it in his face. He felt so ashamed that he couldn't arrest and do good police work because of that goddamn proffer agreement. And Keefe D's dumbass attorney called this guy up there and he stir-fried his own fucking side with the truth. Listen, y'all.
At that point, or at least you believe, you'd agree with me, that Mr. Davis was a suspect in your homicide, not a witness.
Yes, sir.
And by the end of that interview, what is your intent?
My intent was
He looks
to
at the
drive
jury
back to Las Vegas, type up a warrant for an arrest, clear it with the district attorney, and have Mr. Davis arrested for murder.
Now, at that point, did you and members of my team have an opportunity to actually listen to the recording?
Yes, sir.
And we heard the section where you're not in the room.
These some motherfuckers. The prosecution. Remember when he said that he was asked to step out the room because Keefe D wanted to talk with his lawyer and the cop in private? Listen to this, y'all. I want y'all to listen to this, man. Right? I want y'all to listen to this. These motherfuckers in here mad at me, nigga. I'm playing to you what's being said in court, motherfucker. Get off my channel, nigga. You mad, nigga. You don't get mad at me, nigga. Get mad at what the fuck they saying in court, bitch ass nigga. Now let's get right to it, y'all. Check this out. I want everybody to listen to what I'm telling y'all right now. Check this out. Case is gonna be over with next week. Tomorrow they're giving the jury instructions. And we're gonna talk about that in a few minutes. The jury instructions. Ooh, wait till y'all hear these jury instructions. Then they going to prison. These niggas some hoes on YouTube. When they hear these jury instructions, man, I'm telling y'all this shit right now. I'm finna read y'all what the jury instructions gonna be in Las Vegas. But anyways, let me tell y'all this. That officer right there, he ethered Keefe on numerous fronts, right? Right? To the person who says, no, he didn't. The DA didn't have enough evidence. The DA did have, hold on, time out. You're a fucking lie. The DA did have enough evidence. He admitted it in court. You don't know what you're talking about. You literally don't know what you're talking about. He just admitted it in court today. They had enough evidence to arrest him for murder, buddy. The only reason why he didn't do it is because they had the proffer. He's about to tell you right now. But since you said that and you jumped the gun, I just leave you up there so everybody can see your face when you get cooked right now. Let's go.
in the room, correct?
That's correct.
And then, so did we give you some direction?
Yes. So this is several weeks after I come back. I met with.
Look how he looked down. That nigga was so ashamed, bro, of what that police department did by not arresting this man right when they had that information, bro. Because he told y'all it was against the rules for him to give up any type of murder and get any type of profit that would help him shave off years. It was against the rules. He could only get that profit off of non-violent crimes, off of crimes that did like drug crime. He felt so ashamed. Look at his face, y'all. That nigga was ashamed to even tell him, like, yo, we did that. Like, we let him, we didn't. Because you got to look at his family. His family's like, yo, why y'all ain't arrest this nigga the whole time?
This is several weeks
Look,
after.
y'all.
Members of my team have an opportunity to actually listen to the recording.
Yes, sir.
And we heard the section where you're not in the room, correct?
That's correct.
And then, so did we give you some direction?
Yes. So this is several weeks after I come back. I met with.
Look at him, y'all.
This is several weeks after I had come back
You
from
feel ashamed.
California with the recording. So we brought the recording and the transcription over. The DA reviewed it, and they invited me over, and they told me that they were not going to go forward with prosecution at that time because that
dude was hurt, bro. He's fucking hurt, man. Tupac's family, all his fucking years, man, they had this dude. They could have arrested this dude, charged this dude with murder, man. This is a good fucking cop, bro. This is a good fucking cop, man. That whole time they could have gave Tupac family justice, man. And he's looking at that shit like this motherfucker, they was laughing with this nigga. All this other shit, bro. And gave this motherfucker a profit. Think about what I just said to y'all, man. Think about what I just said to y'all. That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up, bro. Dude wanted to cry right there, man. Because he felt like he didn't do his job, his duty. That's fucked up, man. And Pac's family, they was looking for justice all those years, man. And the motherfuckers was sitting on that evidence. And the only reason why they didn't charge Keefe D with murder is because he had that proffer agreement. And that's why they're charging him now. Because Keefe D broke his proffer and started running his mouth. He's guilty. He's guilty. Right? And he's going to be out, man. Right? Let's play it. Look at his face,
has
man.
a lot of complications.
Let me ask.
Look at his face, bro.
Were you
Look at his face, bro.
Yes.
All y'all gotta do is look at this dude's face, man. Dude won't start crying because he knew they fucked up, bro. He knows, man. And when you a cop, the last thing the cop want to do is throw another cop under the bus, bro. But he could not lie on the stand. He was a credible fucking witness, bro. And he helped bury Keefe D, man. He didn't want to lie. He didn't want to lie on the stand, bro. That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up, bro. Tupac Shakur family waiting for years for fucking justice. And they could have locked this motherfucker up the whole time. And people keep saying, what about this? What about that? They didn't have that evidence. They investigated. The other departments investigated. They had Keefe D to a T. All this other shit y'all talking about don't mean nothing. Look at him.
So this is several weeks after I come back. I met with.
He ashamed, bro.
This is several weeks after I had come back from California with the recording. So we brought the recording and the transcription over. The DA reviewed it, and they invited me over, and they told me that they were not going to go forward with prosecution at that time because
Look at him, bro. That's fucked up, man.
Let me ask
There's a lot of
let
complications.
me ask it this way. Were you directed to find out the circumstances of why it was that a suspect in our homicide was in a room with his lawyer and a task force officer having that conversation?
Yes, sir.
And at this point, you've been told there might be a proffer somewhere out there in 2008.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And proffers are between lawyers and sovereigns, correct?
That's correct.
So
Not police officers. That's why I told you, motherfucker. Get off my level. You can't walk in here with me. This cop did not want to bust out another cop, but he didn't want to lie under oath. He didn't want to bust out his other fellow police officers, but he didn't want to lie under oath. He exposed the cops. Let me repeat this to y'all again. He exposed the cops for not arresting Keefe D for Tupac's murder when they were supposed to arrest him. He was ashamed and wanted to cry in front of the jury because Tupac's family was sitting in there today. He was ashamed, bro. But what he did today in court, he exposed the corruption. They had evidence that Keefe D was in Vegas and aided and abetted in murdering Tupac Shakur. He had all the information and took it right to the boss. And the boss told him, nah, hold off. Don't go arrest him. He's like, what the fuck you mean don't go arrest him? I got all the evidence right. No. Don't go arrest him. So when he goes to find out, why the fuck is my boss not letting me arrest this guy? They gave him a proffer. And the cop wasn't supposed to be in the room with Keefe D and just his lawyer. Listen, you have to listen to this. This all came out in fucking court. I could not believe this shit. People are missing this whole point. This is one of the biggest, most dramatic parts of the whole trial, right here. Listen, y'all.
Yes. So this is several weeks after I'd come back. I met with. This is several weeks after I'd come back from California with the recording. So we brought the recording and the transcription over. The DA reviewed it, and they invited me over, and they told me that they were not going to go forward with prosecution at that time because they're.
He's fucked up, bro. He's fucked up. He want to cry.
There's a lot of complications.
Let me ask it this way. Were you directed to find out the circumstances of why it was that a suspect in our homicide was in a room with his lawyer and a task force officer having that conversation?
Yes, sir.
And at this point, you've been told there might be a proffer somewhere out there in 2008.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And proffers are between lawyers and sovereigns.
And sovereigns.
That's correct.
So it's either got to be the U.S. Attorney's Office or the Los Angeles District Attorney's
Not a
Office, but it certainly wasn't the state of Nevada or the Clark County District Attorney's Office.
That's correct.
That's why Greg Caden didn't show up. They bust. I told y'all niggas this. I'm the Brett the Hitman Hart of this shit, man. Boy, they had to expose the police department to get to the truth. They had to expose the police department to get to the truth. So all y'all that's been questioning the police department, there you have it. There you have these motherfuckers don't even know what they looking at. Wait till the media write about this tomorrow. I've already been ahead of this shit. They were not supposed to do the proffer the way they did it. Boy, you got some dirty mofo cops. This is gonna be a lawsuit out the goddamn kazoo. Do you smell what the Rock is cooking? Let me play that again, because somebody said play it again. Listen very closely. They got Keefe D balls to the wall. This cop is like, yo, we got him for murder. We already have all the evidence we need for murder. Why we ain't charging this motherfucker? Now y'all find out after 30 years, on this day, you found out the truth in court. They could have arrested Keefe D and charged him with the murder of Tupac Shakur. But they didn't. And it took the cop that Keefe D called to the stand, not the prosecution, but Keefe D, his own witness, buried him today. Play that again.
And
Y'all can see it.
let me ask
There's a lot of complications. We brought the
He was so
recording and the
disheartened.
transcription over.
That's the last
the
thing
DA
you ever
review.
want to do is throw your own department under the bus. That's one of the cardinal sins of cops. But this man was a good cop. Y'all smash the like button. He was a good cop. And he was on the stand. And today, after 30 fucking years, man, we got some real justice, man. We got some real truth today. Imagine what Mo Preem. I wish I could have seen what Mo Preem and them look like when they seen this in the court. That nigga probably sat up in that chair so quick. Like, what? Y'all could have charged this mother. Think about this, y'all. And then the proffer, they didn't even do that the way it was supposed to be done. That is insane. But this is the reason why Greg Kading hasn't even been called in this trial. Now you have your answer today. 30 years for y'all all to get the truth. Everybody been saying it's the cops, it's the cops. You got your truth today. And while you still all think it's the cops, which they have a big part in this, they had evidence that Keefe D was a part of the murder of Tupac Shakur. And they held off because they gave Keefe D an illegal proffer. And the cop told y'all, you're not even supposed to be giving proffers for murders. That was against the rules. They broke the fucking rules. Listen, you can't make this shit up. Listen again.
members of my team have an opportunity to actually listen to the recording.
Keefe D don't even know what's going on.
And we heard the section where you're not in the room, correct?
That's correct.
And then, so did we give you some direction?
See, they asked him to leave the room because he's a good cop. That's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up, bro. Think about this, y'all. They asked him to leave the room back then because he's a good cop. He don't know what the fuck going on. So the other cop stays in the room, right? The other cop stays in the fucking room with Keefe D and his lawyer. That's illegal like a motherfucker. And you ask him, yo, leave the room. So this whole time, he never knew what happened in that room. But when he went back in the room and he got the rest of that information from Keefe D, along with the other information that his other officers had, he went straight to file the charges to arrest Keefe D for murder. And once he went to go get those charges filed on Keefe D for murder, his boss shut him down and said, nah, man. He was like, what? What the fuck you mean don't charge him? We got all this evidence right here. We can charge his ass right fucking now. His boss is like, nah, man. And then he finds out that they had did a fucking profit with this guy that they wasn't supposed to do. Tupac family finna get about $400 million, bro. Y'all motherfuckers come in here talking to me. Nigga, I'll play it for you one more time, nigga. And I'll let it go through.
The grass field. So I spent the rest of his life in prison for what they had caught him with. So if he gives substantial information about cases, and that's what they had brought him in for, was to give information about cases. One of the cases was the Wallace case, notorious B.I.G. During this part of it, he started telling them about Tupac, and this is in 2008, I believe. So that's what I was told.
But essentially, and I want to talk about specifically, what is just working off your charges? Does Metro have certain rules? Let me ask you.
They have certain rules.
Working off charges and how you work off charges.
How you work them off.
Yes. And a non-victim crime, you can work off charges.
Non-victim.
You can't work off a murder. You can't work
They
off.
let Keefe work off a murder.
You can't work.
That was
Those
illegal.
are victim crimes. If you have a victim, you can't work off those charges. But if you have something else that,
Let me explain to the girl in the comment section what he's saying.
like a lot of,
You got to understand what the cop is saying. They had rules at Metro. Their Metro rules were, and I'm talking to you, Princess Santos. He's telling you right now, their Metro rules were, you cannot use a murder to work off any time in a profit. It has to be nonviolent to work off. They surpassed that. They let Keefe D use murders in his proffer. This cop, he was such a good cop. Keefe D didn't know this cop. Neither did his lawyer. So when this cop was with the other cop, he asked Keefe D, they asked that cop, hey, leave the room for a second. I bet you Keefe D got nervous talking around that guy like, hey, man, what the fuck? Like, who is this guy? I ain't never seen this guy before. Who the fuck is he? And they probably assured him, don't worry about it. He ain't gonna be able to do nothing. We got you straight, dog. So they called the cop back in the room, this white cop that y'all was looking at right now, after Keefe D talked with them, and that was illegal that he did that. They called him back in the room, and then they start talking about this whole situation again. Well, as soon as they finished that conversation, that cop had enough information that Keefe D gave him, along with the evidence they had, to charge Keefe D with murder of Tupac Shakur. So he immediately went to his office, typed up that letter, went to his boss and said, hey, man, we got enough evidence to charge Keefe D with the murder of Tupac Shakur. And his boss told him no. He like, no? The fuck you mean no? Keefe D's lawyer's been telling people the whole time that they didn't charge Keefe D with murder because they didn't have evidence. That's not true. He just revealed today. They didn't charge Keefe D, not because they didn't have evidence. They were going to charge Keefe D. They didn't charge Keefe D because they gave Keefe D a proffer. And the proffer that they gave Keefe D was a dirty proffer by cops, that they were not supposed to be able to give that proffer. It was against the rules to give a proffer to where you give up a murder and get time off. Game over. This is why y'all need to go to school and learn, bro. Listen again.
like a lot of drugs, you could.
It's just working off your charges. Does Metro have certain rules? Let me ask you.
Metro Police Department.
Working off charges and how you work off charges.
Yes. And a non-victim crime, you can work off charges. You can't work off a murder. You can't
work off a murder.
Sexual assault. You can't
How the fuck did Keefe D work off a murder?
Crimes. If you have a victim, you can't work off those charges. But if you have something else that, like a lot of drugs, you could work off maybe the amount of years you're going to do by giving substantial case information on other cases. So that's what I believe that Mr. Davis and his attorney.
What he's saying is that if Keefe D would have gave up other drug lords or other drug activity, he'd have been able to get off time. He'd have been able to use that to chop his time down. But the rules were against him being able to give up murders to get time. So Keefe D was able to work off time but they let him work off time illegally. So all y'all that was saying it was the cops that was involved in Park's murder, guess what? Just not how you thought they were.
And his attorney,
They could have bought justice a long time ago. We waited all these years for what? They could have bought justice a long time ago. They didn't. Let's keep going.
and his attorney were trying to do was to knock off a certain amount of time off of what he was going to spend in prison.
And you know, or at least you believe, you'd agree with me, that Mr. Davis was a suspect in your homicide, not a witness.
Yes, sir.
And by the end of that interview, what is your intent?
My intent was to drive back to Las Vegas, type up a warrant for an arrest, clear it with the district attorney, and have Mr. Davis arrested for murder.
That's his own witness.
Now, at that point, did you and members of my team have an opportunity to actually listen to the recording?
Yes, sir.
And we heard the section where you're not in the room, correct?
That's correct.
And then, so did we give you some direction?
Yes. So this is several weeks after I come back. I met with. This is several weeks after I had come back from California with the recording. So we brought the recording and the transcription over. The DA reviewed it.
Now, Pete, what he did. This is something everybody missed too. You know what this cop did? This is a good ass cop right here. This white dude right here. You know what he did, y'all? He secretly recorded that too. It was legal though. He kept his own individual recording, so nobody could deny what happened in that meeting. He kept his own recording. And because they knew he was recording, when they told Keefe D, when they was insuring Keefe D, yo, he ain't gonna do shit, man. Your proffer is good, bro. Because you know Keefe D is probably bitching and complaining like, hey man, this dude, y'all want me fucking talk in front of this guy? I don't know this guy. He fucking record me and shit. You don't know how Keefe D probably was talking. So they asked that cop to leave the room, knowing he had a recorder on him. Couldn't record when he left, but those other guys were still recording. And what the prosecution did was they went back and they called this cop right here. And they said, come listen to the part where you left. We got that on tape too. Game, set, match. Let's keep going.
They invited me over and they told me that they were not going to go forward with prosecution at that time because
he fucked up, bro. Look at him. Ready?
there's a lot of complications.
Let me ask it this way. Were you directed to find out the circumstances of why it was that a suspect in our homicide was in a room with his lawyer and a task force officer having that conversation?
Yes, sir.
And at this point, you've been told there might be a proffer somewhere out there in 2008.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And proffers are between lawyers and sovereigns.
And sovereigns.
That's correct.
So it's either got to be the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Los Angeles District
Not a
Attorney's
cop.
Office, but it certainly wasn't the state of Nevada or the Clark County District Attorney's Office.
That's correct.
And did you make efforts to find out from Wayne Higgins what the nature of that agreement was between him and some other sovereign?
Yes. Mr. Higgins as well as others. Yes,
And you would agree with me that Mr. Higgins wouldn't return our calls.
that's correct.
Did you?
Now, Higgins would not return their calls. Did y'all hear that? So when they called Higgins, I want y'all to listen to this. Higgins refused to return their calls. They have just exposed corruption at the highest level. Game over.
Did you
Listen to
attempt to contact?
Listen.
And at this point, you've been told there might be a proffer somewhere out there in 2008.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And proffers are between lawyers and sovereigns, correct?
That's correct.
So it's either got to be the U.S. Attorney's Office or the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office, but it certainly wasn't the state of Nevada or the Clark County District Attorney's Office.
That's correct.
And did you make efforts to find out from Wayne Higgins what the nature of that agreement was between him and some other sovereign?
Yes. Mr. Higgins as well as others. Yes.
And you would agree with me that Mr. Higgins wouldn't return our calls.
That's correct.
Did you attempt to contact U.S. Attorney Seawright?
Yes.
And you would agree with me, Mr. U.S. Attorney Seawright, at least at that time, would not return our
Damn.
calls.
Correct.
The fucking U.S. attorney wouldn't return the calls. It's over, y'all. It's been exposed. It's been exposed. It's been all exposed today. I told y'all. They just exposed corruption at the highest fucking levels, man. That's crazy. And they naming names on that shit, bro. They naming names on that. Tupac family got to be in that joint rubbing their hands together like Birdman. This shit right here, bro. This shit right here, bro.
Correct. Would not speak to me.
And by the time, well, let me ask you this. Based upon that situation, did you get directed to reach out to Darren Dupree to see if we could get leverage on the driver, Terrence Brown?
Yes. I did reach out to Detective Dupree and he.
Do y'all not know what's going on? I don't think y'all understand. They're not talking about today. The cake been baked on Keefe D for 20 plus years. When this officer went up there, Keefe D's lawyer's a fucking idiot, bro. These two guys known each other for years. The prosecutor and that cop, they known each other for years. They've been on this case for years, trying to get this case where it's at right now. They're showing y'all corruption at the highest freaking levels in law. Listen to what he just said again, y'all.
Yes.
And you would agree with me, Mr. U.S. Attorney Seawright, at least at that time, would not return our calls.
Correct. Would not speak to me.
And by the time, well, let me ask you this. Based upon that situation, did you get directed to reach out to Darren Dupree to see if we could get leverage on the driver, Terrence Brown?
Terrence Brown. So when Terrence Brown was alive, these two guys were working together on that case. When Terrence Brown was alive, they were trying to get leverage on Terrence Brown to get him to roll on Keefe D. Do y'all see it now? Keefe D, dumbass lawyer, didn't even know this. He didn't even checkmated in court. Let's keep going.
Yes. I did reach out to Detective Dupree and
He don't want to snitch, bro.
Clarence Brown is a gangster operating in Compton, California. So he's going to be committing crimes. I asked him if he gets arrested for whatever reason to give me a call, and I want to come down and talk to him. Yeah.
And ultimately, that never happens. You never get a phone call saying, hey, we got Bubble Up in custody. Come down here. Let's interview Bubble Up.
Correct. Bubble Up is the street
He
name
never
for
got a call.
Mr. Brown.
And so by the time you retire in 2017,
He's dead.
we have no statement from Bubble Up.
No.
And we still don't know the circumstances surrounding why those three people were in a room talking to you.
No, I believed I did at that time, but obviously I didn't.
Corruption.
Nothing further.
That's fucked up. Bro.
Redraft.
Corruption like a motherfucker.
Sir,
Damn.
can you tell us who from the district attorney's office you were speaking to during that time period?
Mostly it would be Pam Weckerly.
Who was the other United States or the district attorney as well besides Pam Merkley?
The entire MVU.
Was Mr. Gerard DiGiacomo one of those individuals?
Yes, sir.
Now, at the time, who was the elected district attorney? Was it
Mr. Wolfs?
was it Steve Wilson?
Yes.
Now, not David Roger.
No, I don't believe he was there anymore.
All right. Now, your testimony here is that you had every intention when you came back to charge the case.
Yes, sir.
And when you came back, you reached out to the district attorney's office and you said, hey, we think we should charge this case.
Yes.
And they did not immediately give
Now listen, Keefe D's lawyer is being an asshole. That nigga should have said no further questions, Your Honor. Keefe D's lawyer, he fucked him up even more by Keefe D's lawyer asking this question. The fucking prosecution is going to come on recross and bury Keefe D even more. Listen, y'all. So he's asking, oh, well, you guys were going to arrest him, but did you investigate? Did you? Look what happens on recross, yo. This Keefe D's lawyer. This is the reason why, sir, you are on pro bono. Let me play this shit right now.
you respond to what they were going to do.
No, they told me to stand down and they were going to review it. I got the information to them as quickly as I could. Yeah,
Stand down. They told this cop to stand down from arresting Keefe D when he had evidence on the murder of Tupac Shakur. That is insane. If I'm the family, that's $100 million, $250, $300 million lawsuit right there. We ain't even got nothing to talk about. That is an instant $500,000 lawsuit. I mean, $500 million lawsuit, $500 million right there. Let's keep going.
had to be typed up by one of our secretaries, but I did make sure they got the audio as quick as they could. There was plenty of probable cause to arrest for murder.
Plenty of probable cause to arrest for murder. Plenty. Lord Jesus have mercy, man. Did you hear what he just told the nigga in open court? He said, oh no, well, there's plenty of probable cause. I'll arrest that motherfucker for murder. He was trying to get that shit typed up. His fucking boss stopped him. If that ain't dirt, I don't know what is.
Now, just for the jury's edification, probable cause is not beyond reasonable doubt.
He said, oh, for the jury, probable cause is not for reasonable doubt. See, he's telling the jury that because he knows he got fucked. So now he has to say, oh, well, probable cause. Now watch this, though. He slipped up. He fucked up. Keefe D's lawyer fucked up big time, bro. He fucked up big time. Now watch this, y'all.
Now, just for the jury's edification, probable cause is not beyond reasonable doubt. Fair?
I'd say that again. I'm sorry.
Probable cause is not beyond reasonable doubt, right?
No, that's what we do here.
That's correct.
No, he said, no, that's what we do here, right? Yeah, we get enough probable cause evidence along with your statements to arrest you for murder, and we go arrest you for murder and try your ass for murder in court. Then when you go to court, you prove it beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed this crime and you take your ass to prison. Let's keep going.
And in terms of the information that you had learned at the time that you met with Mr. Davis, did you verify any of that information?
Let's say it again. I'm sorry.
Did you verify any of the information in that recording?
Now, this is where his lawyer fucked up. This is where you small time. He asked that man, did you verify? Remember, this nigga was on the case, y'all, 15 years later. So watch when the prosecution go on recross and eat all that bullshit up.
In 2009, that Mr. Davis said.
I wasn't able to.
And once again, verification meaning corroboration, right?
That's correct.
In fact, I think on the recording you had told Mr. Davis a couple of times, look, even though what you're telling me you might say is the truth, I still need to corroborate this information.
That's correct.
And that would have been your standard operating procedure with anyone telling you anything.
That's correct.
So for instance, as you're sitting here right now, do you have any?
I'm going to object to leading. It's his witness.
I'm sorry, I'm so used
It's
to
hard,
it.
I know.
Let me ask it this way.
You better rephrase.
Yes, I'll rephrase. Did you make, was there any information did you ever receive about whether or not Mr. Davis was in Las Vegas in September of 1996.
Well, objection leading.
He can say yes, sir.
See how he's objecting? Keefe D's lawyer let that motherfucker cook with no objections, bro. You can't make this shit up, man. Let's keep going.
Overall.
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Now,
And
listen what he said. He said, "Did I?" No, but that's not how the police department works, asshole. That's why you have a team. And watch when the prosecution come back up and bury his ass.
Overall.
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
And did you ever have, when you reviewed the file in this case, were there any people calling in saying that they did it? They did the murder?
Sure.
I mean,
That's
Can you
another
give us
stupid
a,
question about Keefe D's lawyer. Dumb fucking question. Oh, was anybody else saying they did it? He said, yeah, sure. I mean, it was other people that was calling. You dumbass. You walk right into a trap. I mean, this nigga walking right into traps. Watch this. Watch when the prosecution come back up and recross y'all. He gonna tear this shit up. Listen.
like a number or an amount?
There was a lot. There was quite a few. I mean, I had information that Bill Clinton had him killed. I mean, there was no, he did not follow up. There was a lot of calls, a lot of people claiming to have been involved. No.
And fair to say,
Most
though,
of the time they couldn't get any of the information correct.
right. And so when
You
you're
heard what he said?
determining, for instance,
Did you hear what he said? He eated them again. He said most of the time them people was calling, they couldn't even get the information correct. That let y'all know they already had the information. But watch the prosecution on recross. They go tear this shit up, man. Keefe D's lawyer is shit. Michael Snap saying, if you listen to this, dog, you got your ass cooked. Cooked.
for instance, a confession, what are you looking for? Like, if someone says, I confess to this, what information do you use to determine whether it's correct or not?
They're like, what kind of vehicle were you in? How did the shooting occur? What kind of firearm was it? Where did you go from there? What preceded it? How did you? All of it. I mean, anything that you can find as in facts, you want to connect to them. I'm behind the eight ball because I'm 15 years after the fact or 14 years after the fact trying to corroborate different things. But I mean, I made the attempts.
And with regard to the information that we're talking about here, was any of the information you're sharing with us already available to the public?
I don't know. I'm sure there was information that's out there. I mean, there was so much interest in the case. I'm sure there was.
Now, just finally, in terms of your reaching out to people, Mr. Seawright, who was he?
The Attorney General of California.
And the district attorney's office requested that you reach out to the Attorney General of California?
They were going to do it. I was going to do it. Whoever could do it would be great.
And then in terms of the other people, Mr. Dupree or Detective Dupree, when was the first time you ever met Mr. Dupree or Detective Dupree? I apologize.
I'm not positive.
Was it in the meeting at 2009?
No, I met him before that.
Can you give us sort of an estimation as to when that was?
A couple of years before. I think it had to do with one of the gun trip. I think is when I met him.
And just for my edification with that gun, was it a real gun?
Yeah, Glock 40. There's a lot of Glock 40s out there. I had no idea.
He cooked that nigga. He said, yeah, Glock 40. There's a lot of Glock 40s out there, man. He stir-fried his ass. Keefe D lawyer know he got his ass handed to him. Now watch the prosecution on recross. He already knew this motherfucker's toast. He back there chilling, y'all. Watch the prosecution come up and take this shit home beautiful. Watch this, y'all.
No idea there was that many.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
He
Thank you.
said, I had no idea it was that many 40 Glocks out there.
Well, Mr.
Watch this, y'all.
Said, were you able to corroborate information that Mr. Davis gave you? You're talking about information you didn't already know, correct?
Correct.
There was a substantial amount of information in this file that Mr. Davis, Mr. Brown, Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Smith were in the car the night when the murder occurred.
Yes.
Game over. All y'all motherfuckers who's talking about Keefe D wasn't in the car, they couldn't plant him. Keefe D's own witness just told y'all he had evidence and information Keefe D was in that car that night, along with all those other guys. Y'all niggas, let me rewind this again. This is why you niggas don't come up and argue with a nigga like me, because I don't miss nothing.
Yes.
Let me play this shit again.
Yes.
I don't miss nothing.
The way I
Play
took
the game.
when you asked me that.
Well, Mr. Sam said, were you able to corroborate information that Mr. Davis gave you? You're talking about information you didn't already know, correct?
Correct.
There was a substantial amount of information in this file that Mr. Davis, Mr. Brown, Mr. Anderson.
Listen to what he said. He said there was a substantial amount of information in this file that Mr. Davis, Mr. Brown, and all them guys was in the car in Vegas that night, right or wrong. He says, yep. Told y'all. Y'all niggas on, oh, they can't put him in Vegas. The motherfucking Keefe D's own witness just put him in Vegas. You big dummies. On the stand on the last day. You dummy. Play it again. Play shit again.
I think is when I met him.
And just for my
Smash it like
gun, was it a real gun?
Yeah, Glock 40.
Yeah, Glock 40.
There's a lot of
Glock
Glock
40s.
40s. I had no idea. That
He
was
cooked
happening.
his ass. He cooked
Thank you,
his
Abner, for the
ass.
question. Thank you, sir.
Watch this, y'all.
Briefly. Well, Mr. Sam said, were you able to corroborate information that Mr. Davis gave you? You're talking about information you didn't already know, correct?
Correct.
There was a substantial amount of information in this file that Mr. Davis, Mr. Brown, Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Smith were in the car the night when the murder occurred.
Yes. The way I took when you asked me that is, did I do cooperation?
Game
Brent
over.
Becker and Mike Franks, the original detectives, corroborated a lot of different things.
Game over.
I didn't.
He said I didn't, but the other officers, they corroborated a lot of things that came before me. Bro, this motherfucker going to prison. If y'all niggas that stupid to see this shit, bro. This is why I keep trying to tell y'all. Literacy has to mean something. Literacy has to mean something. This cop just told y'all that he had substantial information that Keefe D was in the car in Vegas that night. Y'all niggas coming running on YouTube talking about they don't have any information to put him in. Nigga, his own witness just got on the stand and said there was substantial information that they had that Keefe D was in that car that night. Did y'all not hear the court today?
Specifically go back.
Listen.
Well, Mr. Sam said, were you able to corroborate information that Mr. Davis gave you? You're talking about information you didn't already know, correct?
Correct.
There was a substantial amount of information in this file that Mr. Davis, Mr. Brown, Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Smith were in the car the night when the murder occurred.
Yes. The way I took when you asked me that is, did I do cooperation? Brent Becker and Mike Franks, the original detectives, corroborated a lot of different things. I didn't specifically go back in time and do what they did.
You were relying upon the information they already had. So when Mr. Davis is telling you this story, it's not like the crazies that are calling saying, I killed Tupac or Tupac's still alive or all any of that stuff.
That's correct.
No.
Game over. Nothing further.
Can you redirect?
He had no clue. Yeah, he wasn't stupid.
For Detective Long.
He wasn't stupid, y'all. Boy, that nigga got cooked. Then we go to this part, y'all. This is the worst part. I'm telling you, I go pack Diddy the fuck up, man. I keep trying to tell y'all this, and y'all cats don't want to listen, man. Bro, it's over for this nigga, bro. Y'all might as well go ahead and cancel Christmas.
The defense have been saying, well, Keefe D, quote, talks a lot of crap. If that's all the evidence you've got, then this is a pretty weak case. But today we heard about the 2023 nighttime search warrant. Now, what happened is the last detective that was investigating this case, Detective Mogg, signed an affidavit claiming that they needed to search Dwayne Keefe D. Davis's house because they thought there would be evidence there that would pertain to the murder of Tupac Shakur, and they wanted to investigate. Now, bear in mind, the murder took place in 1996, and this is a 2023 nighttime search warrant, but it was given, and his house was searched. Now, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis and his defense team have said this was an illegal nighttime search, but all of the evidence from it was submitted into court today, and we heard what some of the other evidence evidence is that the prosecution claim they have that bolstered eventually charging him. So it was after that nighttime search that they did file charges, official charges against Dwayne Keefe D. Davis. Now, we heard from some of the crime scene analysts who were there, and they talked through what they found. Most notably was what the prosecution described as a scrapbook. And there were newspaper clippings going all the way back to 1996.
Let me just show some of the newspaper articles. So State's Exhibit number 137H. This appears to be an article about Mr.
This is what they found in Tupac's house, y'all.
137.
Then they going to prison, bro.
Another one about the death of Mr. Secure, and this one's actually dated September 19th of 96.
Yes, sir.
Another article that was found in there talking about Mr. Knight being kept in jail.
Yes, sir.
And a newspaper article about a bad rap for new artists.
This is
And I'm
in
gonna read you
Keefe
some of
D's
what they
house.
found. So there was an article that said star rapper badly wounded. So that's from September 13th, 1996, before Tupac was announced as actually having passed away. There were articles about his death, one from September 19th, 1996, multiple articles about his death. These have all been like hand cut out and kept in a scrapbook. And we
Keefe D had all this shit in his house. He had articles from where Tupac was shot before in his house in 2023. Bro, y'all motherfuckers running around here. They put this shit in the evidence, nigga.
watched them under the monitor. There was articles about the fight at the MGM. There was articles about police raids targeting violence that was sparked by Tupac Shakur's death. There was articles about him and Suge Knight. There was a lot of material. It went one after the other after the other. If you're with us on YouTube, we'll have some of that on the screen right now so you can see what they found inside of his house. Now, previously, the prosecution had told us that they found during the nighttime raids 2 tubs of photographs, multiple electronic devices, and a Vibe magazine.
2 tubs of photographs. And look at the magazine they said they found from the Vibe, y'all. Y'all not finna believe this shit, bro. This nigga had this in his house in 2023, bro. You can't be this fucking stupid. Listen to this, y'all.
Vibe magazine that had Tupac Shakur on it. And we found out today that that Vibe magazine was from November 1996, so 2 months after he passed away.
2 months after Tupac died, this nigga had the Vibe magazine from that month in his house. And these niggas come on the internet arguing with a real nigga that I've been telling y'all it was gonna pack this nigga up.
Vibe magazine that had Tupac Shakur on it. And we found out today that that Vibe magazine was from November 1996, so 2 months after he passed away. And this was found in Dwayne Keefe D's residence in 2023, and this is ultimately what bolstered their investigation and led to an official charge. Now, when Sampt began cross-examination, he didn't offer up an explanation for why there were those newspaper clippings, why there was the Vibe magazine. There was also a copy of his own book, Compton Street Legend, Keefe D's book, and Murder Rap, which we've heard a lot about, written by Greg Kading. Didn't really talk much about that, but he did say that one of the purposes of the nighttime raid was to establish the fact that the prosecution alleged Keefe D did write his own book. Now, you've got to remember, this has been central to their evidence. The book Compton Street Legend, which was published in 2019, where Dwayne Keefe D Davis appears to be repeatedly admitting to the fact that he was inside the white Cadillac, that he put his weapon in the back, that he directed the murder of Tupac Shakur. Now, the defense's rebuttal to that has been it was co-authored, he didn't know exactly what was in there, and large sections of it were embellished to sell copies. Essentially, it's hyperbolic, it's fiction. So part of that nighttime search warrant is to look at the electronic devices and see, you know, is there stuff in there of Keefe D working on his manuscript? Do we see draft 1, draft 2? Do we have any actual evidence that he was the author of this book? Now, he asked the crime scene analyst that was on the stand at the time, did you search the electronic devices? And she responded saying, no, that's not what I did. You know, I documented the evidence that was there and we helped take it in. But that would have been Detective Mogg, who would know more about what was on those electronic devices, which brings us back to a central narrative that Sampt has been introducing repeatedly over the past couple of days. We need to hear from Detective Mogg. If you go back to our last episode, it was all about we need to hear from Detective Kading, and it's become extremely clear that the prosecution are not going to call Detective Mogg or Detective Kading. So by asking these questions, Sampt is introducing to the jury that it would probably be pertinent for them to hear from Detective Mogg, seeing as he was the last investigator on this case, and he would have actually examined the digital evidence, the laptops, the iPhones, and the iPads that were recovered from Dwayne Keefe D Davis's residence. But seeing as he isn't here, we didn't hear about what was on those electronic devices. So the question was asked and left unanswered, but questions asked and left unanswered are what the defense like, because that sounds like reasonable doubt. The last witness we had on stand was Robert Ladd, who is
Listen,
a former
y'all.
law enforcement agent.
Now, this guy, Robert Ladd, he destroyed Keefe D. This is why Keefe D is going to get charged. He made Keefe D, he made sure everybody in the jury knew that Keefe D was a shot caller and that ain't nothing happening to Tupac unless Keefe D get a word. Listen up, y'all. That's why I told y'all they going to prison, nigga. They don't even need a gun. All they need is enough circumstantial evidence that Keefe D called the shot that night to get Tupac up out of here.
Enforcement agent who worked for the Compton Police Department, which we have heard a lot about in this case. Now, he was there testifying and telling the jury about gang culture at the beginning. And you might be thinking, why do we need to talk about gang culture? We have
And
spoken
Shorty
about
look
it
good
ad
too. I gotta go
nauseam
talk
throughout
to her.
this trial. We have spoken about the Crips and the Bloods pretty much every day with every single witness, but it's really important because what the prosecution have charged Dwayne Keefe D. Davis with is not just murder in the first degree, it's murder in the first degree with gang enhancements, and the other enhancement is the supplying of a deadly weapon.
Didn't I tell
The
y'all
gang
he had a gang enhancement on his charge? They're gonna destroy that nigga. And that girl, she looking good too. Can't even tell you what day it is.
Gang enhancement basically means that murder needed to be committed in the furtherance of gang activity. So it was part of gang activity. That's why that murder took place. And so we have Ladd on the stand breaking down how the gangs work. So Ladd testified that he knew the inner workings of these gangs really well. And then we spoke about the Southside Compton Crips, where he broke down what he said was the hierarchy of that particular gang's culture. He said there's phase one, where you're about 13 to 16 years old and you are getting initiated into the gang. And this happens by essentially you getting jumped, attacked by 5 to 6 members of the gang. And they want to see how you fight back, how resilient you are, how tough you are. That's your initiation into that particular gang. Then you have the second phase, which is what he called the gangster phase. And he said this is the most violent phase. This is when you see people doing the drive-by shootings, the robberies, the murders. This is in the life cycle of a gangbanger, a sentence I never thought I'd say. And he said you're around 15 to 26 when you are in the gangster phase. And then he said when it's 26 and up, you're usually dealing with gang members who have gone to jail and come out. And these are the OGs, or what he called the quote shot callers. And that is a particularly poignant phrase that's going to keep coming up throughout his testimony, because he then went on to testify that Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was absolutely a shot caller in the Southside Compton Crips.
Were you familiar with somebody by the name of Dwayne Davis?
Yes.
Were you aware, was he somebody that was a high-ranking person in that gang or a low-ranking person in that gang?
Well, as high as you can get, yeah.
Not only was he high up in the gang, but he was a very high-level narcotics dealer. He was making a lot of money. He said he was making so much money and moving so much weight that the Compton Police Department did not have the facilities to go after him. That was actually the LAPD and the FBI who ended up getting involved with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis and the drug trafficking charge. But why do we need to go through the life cycle of a gangbanger? It's extremely important, because you've got to remember the prosecution's theory is not that Dwayne Keefe D. Davis fired the gun himself. It's that he was the architect of the crime, the quote shot caller. I mean, yeah, double pun unintentional, but that is what they're saying.
So you're saying that Mr. Davis was a shot caller within the Southside Compton Crips?
Absolutely, yes.
And what does that mean?
Well, he could tell the younger gangsters what to do, and if they don't listen, like I just said, there's going to be severe consequences. The younger gang members are supposed to do what they're told without hesitation.
It's the hand of one, hand of all theory. He instructed, he supplied the weapon, he directed it, he was looking for them driving around in the white Cadillac, he planned out the crime. So when Ladd's on the
Cooked his ass on the stand, y'all.
stand testifying, he
And like I said, Shorty looking good, man. God, I can't even tell you what day it is, man. Shorty looking good, man. I like a shorty like that. She working too. A real JOB, looking good, educated, know how to talk. I mean, I just effed a Millie up on some
the
fly
stand
shit.
testifying, he's speaking to the culture of what would have gone on inside that car. And he testified that because Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was inside that white Cadillac and he is an OG, he's at the top of the hierarchy, any shots that would have been fired from that car would have been directed and sanctioned by him. It would not have happened of anybody else's own volition. For instance, Orlando Anderson, who he testified was in the gangster phase, so the middle phase, the 16 to 26-year-old phase, where you're the most violent, wouldn't have initiated firing the shots. shots, he would have sought permission from his family member, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis.
Let me pose this to you. If using Mr. Davis's admissions, if Mr. Brown, Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson, and Mr. Davis are in a car, who is the leader in that car?
Mr. Davis.
Who is the shot caller?
Game over.
Mr. Davis.
Mr.
If
Davis.
he tells them not to do it, say, let's handle this back in Compton, they wouldn't have had a shooting.
Game over.
Say, let's handle this back in Compton, they wouldn't have had a shooting. If he tells them not to do it, say, let's handle this back in Compton, they wouldn't have had a shooting. If he sanctioned it, then there'd be a shooting.
Robert Ladd testifying to that is really important for the prosecution's theory because, as we know, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis is the only person still alive from inside that white Cadillac. So technically, the first person testimony can only come from him. Is he going to take the stand? We still don't know. I don't think so. But Robert Ladd testifying to knowing the inner workings and the hierarchy and the structure of the Southside Compton Crips and saying, absolutely, if there's an OG or if there's a shot caller around, any shots that get fired, any decisions that are made are theirs in their entirety. So in the first part of his testimony, he's getting into what he alleges would have happened inside that white Cadillac. In the second part, he starts talking about why, and we start going through why retaliation is such a big part of gang culture. What happens if you're disrespected? How do you have to respond? And he's saying essentially it is the unbreakable rule. If someone disrespects you, you have to get them back. Otherwise, your street credit is gone. You're an embarrassment to the gang. He absolutely would have had to retaliate for the beating that Orlando Anderson took in the MGM, which of course we know is the prosecution's theory. They said at the beginning in opening statements, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis had visceral hatred towards Tupac Shakur because of what happened to his nephew. He has that visceral hatred, they're alleging, into the 2020s. Remember, they then played us a clip of him on the phone in jail where he was calling Tupac an array of slurs and saying, you know, he's not an icon. He attacked a 20-year-old kid. He attacked my nephew.
Bro, he hated
So Ladd is
Tupac.
saying this isn't just pertinent to Dwayne Keefe D. Davis. This is how they all operate. And the retaliation would have needed to happen. Then he moves on to speaking about what followed after Tupac Shakur's murder. And this is also to speak to the idea that this was a gang-related crime. He said what followed was a complete war in Compton. He said he got the call from Reggie Wright Sr. on the night that Tupac was murdered in Las Vegas saying, get ready, a war is coming. You need to prepare yourself. It was the Southside Compton Crips, and basically it's going to be coming back to your front door, so get ready. And the prosecution introducing that testimony in front of the jury is obviously to contribute to the idea that this was a gang-related crime. It was committed by a gang member. It was instructed by a gang member. It was in furtherance of gang activity, and therefore that's a gang enhancement. And Robert Ladd testifies to exactly that. He said in the following days after Tupac Shakur's murder, we had 3 murders and 10 more attempted murders. In fact, a 10-year-old girl, he said a 10-year-old girl, previously people have said an 11-year-old girl, but a young girl lost her life in a shooting. It was absolute war back in Compton.
Bro, the way the UK people report, man, bro, the UK be on point. And once again, old girl looks so good, man. I can't even tell y'all what day it is, man. Lord have mercy, man. I just ran a millie up on some fly shit. Man, dog. Lord have mercy, man. What? Iceman turned what else? Iceman turned.
The response to this, he said, was that they issued 38 search warrants for the Mob Piru and for the Southside Compton Crips because they just wanted to stop the violence and they thought these search warrants would contribute to that. One of the houses that was searched, of course, was Dwayne Keefe D. Davis's. Another one was Orlando Anderson's. And this is where Sanft picks back up in cross-examination. He says, so this is 1997 where you get these 38 search warrants. So not that long, certainly not 30 years after the crime took place. You went into...
Yeah, I'll be looking at all the little shit too. Hair on point, nails on point, teeth look good, tongue clean. She looking skin smooth as I don't know what. Lord have mercy, bro. She probably smelling like Apollonian. One of them joints you can smell from down the hallway. Lord have mercy.
Went into Dwayne Keefe D. Davis's house. Did you find any material evidence that placed him in Las Vegas on the 7th of September, 1996? You're probably getting sick of me saying that question, but it is literally, Sanft repeats it to almost every single witness. And we know this is his underlying theory for the case. How can they say he killed Tupac Shakur? They can't even place him in the right city at the time. So we asked that question of Robert Ladd, and he says, no, we didn't. No ticket stubs, no photos, no nothing.
Did you find any indication at all? Any MGM grand ticket of being on?
Man, she can come on the yacht tomorrow.
Of being on the second row of the fight, anything at all that would indicate that Mr. Davis was actually in Las Vegas?
And so Sampt goes further, trying to once again introduce the idea that Dwayne Keefe Davis isn't exactly the most truthful man on the planet by saying, did you see any evidence of money lying around? Dwayne Keefe Davis has previously said he was making 20% of a $4 million profit a month. Did you see that kind of money? And Ladd said, no, we didn't see that. Okay. So what about expensive clothes? If you read his book, he says he had $1,000 suits. He was suited and booted all the time. He dressed real good. Did you see any of that? No, we didn't see any of that. And what about expensive cars? Was there expensive cars outside? No, there were modified cars, but there weren't expensive cars. So you didn't see any evidence of any money, any cars, or any proof that he was in Vegas. Once again, circling back to the underlying theory that Sampt has, which is that the prosecution have, quote, no real facts. Then he goes one step further, introducing another question that we've heard from Sampt before. Do you actually have any evidence that what took place at the Lakewood Mall actually took place? Remember, the prosecution are alleging that there was a chain snatching at the Lakewood Mall by Orlando Anderson. That leads to the fight at the MGM. The MGM leads.
My man in the comment section, I be looking at all that shit, bro. All that shit count for me. Fingernails, toenails, toes, lips, teeth, tongue, breath, hair. That shit all means something to me, nigga. She checking all boxes. Intelligence, can speak, can put words together, educated. She fitting all the box for me right now. Facts.
Leads directly to the shooting. So without the Lakewood Mall, you do not get that domino effect that leads to the death of Tupac Shakur. And Sampt is saying, did you find anything in there that this altercation took place at the Lakewood Mall? And I knew this was going to be brought up because I said to you in the other episode, we had Dirt Rock on the stand and he was talking about being at the Lakewood Mall at the time. And they read out some of his testimony that he gave to Detective Morg, where he says it took place at a Foot Locker and it was so bad that it needs to be remodeled. Well, Sampt brought all of that back in today. Did you see any police reports from what took place at the Lakewood Mall? Any reports filed by mall staff? Did you contact anyone at the Foot Locker? You know, testimony that was given to Morg says that it was so bad it had to be remodeled. Surely somebody would remember that or know that. Did you look for any of that documentation that could back up that there was an altercation? And he said, no. So Sam's saying you got no evidence he was in Vegas, no evidence that the initial domino that's needed to trigger this whole chain reaction actually took place, and no evidence that he is a big time narcotics dealer with loads of money and great clothes and nice cars. You've got none of that. But the prosecution did pick back up in redirect and they said, hold on a second. You were in the Compton Police Department. You had intimate knowledge of this area. You knew these guys by their street monikers and their government names. Did Dwayne Keefe Davis ever hide the fact that he was part of the Southside Compton Crips? And he said, no, he was extremely proud to be a Southside Compton Crip and he didn't hide it. In fact, he said it to me when I saw him out on the street multiple times, which I would do. I would see him a lot. So the idea that he isn't a gangster, the idea that he wasn't making loads of money is ridiculous, essentially, because I saw this firsthand. And so Ladd was on the stand for quite a long time. And then at the end of it, as is so unique to these Nevada courts, you get jury questions. And this time they said, did the jury have any questions? And pretty much every single one of them was like, I do. I won't run you through every single one because a lot of them we've covered in what we've gotten over so far. But there was a really, really important question that was asked. And it was, quote, given there was a war in Compton that was triggered, you say, by the shooting of Tupac Shakur, is it fair to assume that you don't actually need a shot caller or an OG around you to allow you to fire shots, because these guys were shooting at each other all the time? So therefore, the idea that you've introduced to us that you need one of these OGs, you need one of these older gangsters around you to say, yeah, you can shoot that person, you can do this drive-by shooting, you've undermined that. And Ladd responded, he said, okay, here's the distinction. If you're with them, it's their choice. So when they're in the white Cadillac and they're riding with Dwayne Keefe Davis, OG shot caller, and there's shots fired, those shots were directed by Dwayne Keefe Davis. If you're not with them, fair game, you can do whatever you like, run wild. But as soon as they're there, they assume the position of command and control, and anything that happens afterwards was directed and sanctioned by them. That was a really interesting and an important question. I love some of these jury questions. I'm like, yo, are you a lawyer? That was such an important question because it's really interrogating the idea that, okay, Dwayne Keefe Davis could have put his gun in the back seat, but that doesn't mean he directed Orlando Anderson to take it and shoot. How do we know that? I mean, safe from having Dwayne Keefe Davis, the only living member of that white Cadillac, on the stand and testifying to it, we're going to go off the idea that if there's a shot caller there, they call the shots, but when they're not there, you can do what you like, which is what Ladd testified to. But it's interesting to see what the jury are beginning to question.
Yeah, that's the type of shit that turned me on, Nicole. A woman got a job and she intelligent like that. Yeah, that shit turned me on. And she look good. Nails done, hair's done. She ain't on OnlyFans. She ain't doing all this crazy shit. Like she actually got a real profession, a real job. Oh yeah, I definitely. Yeah. I'd be like, damn.
To question, because it's those points of the prosecution's theory that we're having to hit. Those questions aren't random. You can see them picking up on the threads of stuff that has been introduced to the jury. We're starting at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and we're having some more evidence introduced into the court, but I don't think we're having any more witnesses from the prosecution. I think after this evidence is introduced, they're going to rest their case, and then we'll see what the defense is going to put on. But
bro, she's so bad, man. It's unbelievable how good that girl look, man. Real talk, man.
hello and welcome back to the two-part murder trial from Fame Under Fire from BBC Sounds with me, Anushka Mutanda-Doughty. The prosecution have officially rested their case. They are done presenting their witnesses and their facts to the jury, and it will begin the defense tomorrow. But we did have a few more things that we witnessed go into evidence today, and I want to talk about them because it's something I haven't seen before.
She get that work.
One of the clips that we were played of Dwayne Keefe Davis today as the prosecution were finishing up was actually from the trial. It was a televised clip of him that was taken just after Reggie Wright Jr. had testified. This is what it looks like.
At that time when Reggie Wright Jr. is sitting in front of the witness stand, that Mr. Davis is mouthing words at Reggie Wright Jr.
Yes.
Now, it wasn't played with any sound. There isn't sound that accompanies that clip, but it
Y'all
has
see
been
that?
doing the rounds on social media.
Y'all
This
see
is
that?
what it looks like.
I told
At
y'all.
that time when Reggie Wright Jr. is sitting in front of the witness.
Effing rat. They play that shit in court. Didn't I tell y'all that shit? Bro, nigga clown, man. Nigga clown, bro. Try to tell y'all. That nigga straight clown.
The witness stand.
Tomorrow. But we did have a few more things that we witnessed go into evidence today, and I want to talk about them because it's something I haven't seen before. One of the clips that we were played of Dwayne Keefe Davis today as the prosecution were finishing up was actually from the trial. It was a televised clip of him that was taken just after Reggie Wright Jr. had testified. This is what it looks like.
At that time when Reggie Wright Jr. is sitting in front of the witness stand, that Mr. Davis is mouthing words at Reggie Wright Jr.
Yes.
Now, it wasn't played with any sound. There isn't sound that accompanies that clip, but it has been doing the rounds on social media. And social media has claimed that Dwayne Keefe Davis is calling Reggie Wright Jr. a rat after he testified against him in the trial. Now, that was shown to the jury, but it wasn't said this is what he was saying. They didn't allege that he was saying he was calling him a rat or anything else. We asked defense attorney Sanft about it afterwards, and he says, I saw the clip. He's not saying in it what social media has decided he's saying, but Sanft didn't say as to what he thought his client might have been mouthing in court. That's all the commentary that we had on that. If it pops back up at closing arguments, we will let you know if the prosecution say anything more about it. But the jury were shown that today, amongst other things. And those other things were things we've been talking about for a very long time. So if you remember, the prosecution's theory is that Dwayne Keefe Davis is essentially told on himself in his own book, published in 2019, Compton Street Legend, where he alleges he was the architect of the crime that killed Tupac Shakur. Now, they played clips from Vlad TV interview, which we've been telling you guys about since the beginning, since our first episodes on this two-part murder trial, where he talks about the veracity of the book. And
Now, I've been trying to tell y'all this stuff, man. That dude buried himself, man. That nigga buried himself, man. So when they read those jury instructions, you guys, those jury instructions are going to be damning, man. And let's talk about those jury instructions real quick, because those jury instructions are going to be what destroys. And I'm going to say this again. Those jury instructions are what's going to be, is going to be what destroys Keefe D. Because once they tell the jury in those jury instructions, once they tell the jury, hey, man, and I'm just trying to tell y'all this, bro, this is why you always pay attention to these type of cases, bro. You always pay attention to this stuff, man, because again, the instructions they get a jury is gonna cook this nigga. Now let's talk about that. Let's talk about the jury instructions, right? Now, so basically the jury instructions is going to be, broke down like this, right? Now, the jury instructions are going to explicitly state that physical evidence like DNA, fingerprints, or a murder weapon is not legally required to convict Keefe D of murder. That's what the jury instructions is going to say. Because under Nevada's criminal law instructions, a defendant's out-of-court admissions and circumstantial evidence carry the exact legal weight as a piece of forensic evidence. This is the part where all these fools don't understand. I've been keep trying to tell y'all this over and over and over again. They don't want to listen on this channel, bro. It's a shame how these people don't want to listen. And you tell them this stuff, you're like, bro, are y'all niggas listening, bro? Or y'all just out here capping? Because the shit is embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing, man. That y'all not listening, bro. Shit is it really is embarrassing, bro. When they hit that nigga with them jury instructions, bro. Right? So it's going to be direct versus circumstantial evidence. So the judge is going to read the standard Nevada instruction regarding how evidence is evaluated, meaning the rule. The law makes no distinction between weight given to either direct or circumstantial evidence. What this means for Keefe D is that the judge is going to tell the jury they cannot discard the prosecution's case because there's no DNA. If they find that Keefe D's taped confessions and the matching historical timeline to be credible, that's legally sufficient to convict Keefe D of murder. Corroboration of his statements, the instructions they'll be given. Because this case relies heavily on confessions, tomorrow's hearing is specifically dealing with what is called a voluntariness and corroboration instruction, meaning the rule that a jury cannot convict someone solely on a confession if the crime itself never happened. A legal principle called corpus delicti. What it means for Keefe D. Since it is an undisputable fact that Tupac Shakur was murdered in Las Vegas, the prosecution only has to show that Keefe D's statements are independently corroborated by some surrounding facts, like the MGM Grand fight or the Cadillac witness descriptions. The instructions will tell the jury that if the outside facts confirm the truth of his words, the words count as full proof. Also, the accomplice liability instructions. Let's talk about that. Meaning the instruction packet will heavily focus on the principal rule of Nevada law. The rule is that it will explicitly state that a defendant is guilty of first-degree murder if they intentionally aided, abetted, or encouraged that crime. So what does it mean for Keefe D, y'all? It means that the jury will be instructed that they do not need physical proof that Keefe D held the gun or pulled the trigger. They only need to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that Keefe D masterminded or facilitated what happened in that car. Right? The defense's only encounter instruction is going to be this. His team is fighting for an instruction that reminds the jury of burden of proof. They want the language to emphasize that if the jury has reasonable doubt about Keefe D was just in his book to make money, they should acquit him. So ultimately, right, the instructions that are going to be told to the jury is if you believe that Keefe D's taped confessions are the truth, you have all the evidence you need to find him guilty. Period. That's what it comes down to. Simple as that. And if and when they find Keefe D guilty, you know who they coming for next. All y'all niggas better pray he got somebody on that jury. Y'all better pray that nigga got somebody on that jury. I'm telling you that. You better pray that nigga got somebody on that jury. I try to tell y'all, these niggas don't know Nevada law. Them niggas keep running around, coming here talking. They better pray Keefe D got somebody on that jury, bro. Right? Which is possible. You never know, but I can't put that on his name. You know what I'm saying? I can't accuse him of that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they better hope. Real talk, man. And bro, like I said, man, that cop today, that cop did it all, y'all. For me, that cop, what he said today, and the cop talked about how them girls got shot. That cop talked about how those girls did get shot. The cop said today on a freaking open mic that those girls did get shot at. He said the girls did get shot at. Look at this, y'all.
They were just juvenile males.
It was right here.
While we
Look
were
at this,
standing
y'all.
there talking
Hold on, I'm gonna show it to y'all right now. It was right here, y'all.
to these males, we heard of all the gunshots. We didn't want to talk to these males anymore, so we jumped in our vehicles and we moved to the shooting scene.
Okay.
Listen, y'all.
And what
Listen.
you're pointing at for the jury.
Listen, y'all.
Mingo and Sandy.
So he's telling y'all, the cop is telling y'all, when we heard the shots, we jumped in our cars and went right over to the scene. This is the same white cop. And he said, when we got over to the scene, yo, them girls' car was shot out. Remember, Keefe D said this. He told our dialogue. He said this. He said, yo, man, we shot them girls' car up. I played the tape for y'all already when he said that shit. Then his lawyer came in the beginning of the case and tried to ask the other girl, was y'all car shot up? And the girl was like, nah, our car wasn't shot up. Wasn't that girl. Watch this right here.
Flamingo.
Defense. Exhibit YY. Do you recognize this this map or this aerial photograph?
Yes.
Okay, and what is it of?
It's Flamingo and Flamingo and Koval is where the shooting occurs. The airport's right to the south. Carriage House is just to the south of where the shooting occurs. And we were, if you zoom in, I could show you where we were.
Here's what we'll do. If you could just step out of your chair, just get out next to the screen. I'm gonna get this a little closer for everyone to see so we can figure out where you're at. Does this help?
All right. There's an area here that's been bulldozed. You can see where the streets and the alleys had been right here. There used to be an apartment complex right there. There was one alley, 2 streets, and the area command that had that area wanted us to check to see if these were gang members. We went in, we stopped some juvenile males. They were not gang members, they were just juvenile males. While we were standing there talking to these males, we heard of all the gunshots. We didn't want to talk to these males anymore, so we jumped in our vehicles and we moved to the shooting scene.
Okay. And what you're pointing at for the jury, just for the record, is the intersection of Koval and Flamingo?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Listen up, y'all.
Now, fair to say, of course, you're there conducting your business as a member of the gang unit.
That's correct.
You weren't there for overflow or anything to do with special events?
No.
For the fight?
No.
Okay. Now, for some of us who weren't around during this time period, can you describe for us a little bit about the activity that was going on at the time in terms of the streets?
Bad question, bro. He set himself up. Here we go right here, y'all. This is when he tells them about those girls.
Streets and people walking around when you heard the shots being fired?
It was packed. It was extremely, there was people everywhere, people walking, traffic was fully backed up. We had to get into the intersection, we had to use, we were in non-marked cars. So we were in plain cars. We moved into the intersection using red lights and sirens. We moved across, people were waving at us and pointing. There was a vehicle there that became of interest to us. Some girls had been shot at. While we had gotten out to talk to them and find out what was going on, we had no idea this was attached to anything. One of the guys on my team, Dino Kelly, found some cartridge cases in the street. So we started moving our vehicles in the area to block off traffic so they wouldn't get run over and putting up yellow tape.
Now, once again, were you in charge of the investigation of either the shooting or the eventual homicide?
No.
All right. So at the time in 2000 or 1996, you were anything other than your gang unit detective?
Right. And at that time, we had found a shooting scene. We don't know what we have. So we're just securing the scene in case there are victims. And then we would find out what was going on.
At some point in the future, though,
See?
as you
There you
progress
go.
in your career,
While we had gotten out to talk to them and find out what was going on,
Look, y'all.
it was packed. It was extremely, there was people everywhere, people walking, traffic was fully backed up. We had to get into the intersection, we had to use, we were in non-marked cars. So we were in plain cars. We moved into the intersection using red lights and sirens. We moved across, people were waving at us and pointing. There was a vehicle there that became of interest to us. Some girls had been shot at. While we had gotten out to talk to them and find out what was going on, we had no idea this was attached to anything. One of the guys on my team, Dino Kelly, found some cartridge cases in the street. So we started moving our vehicles.
Game over. I told y'all. Didn't I tell y'all? He said he seen them girls out there. It was a different set of girls. Game over. Game over. It was a different set of girls. Game over. Game over. And let me answer that about that car, because I seen somebody ask me about that, and that was a good question. That was a great question that somebody asked me about that Cadillac. I didn't forget you. Now let's talk about that. The reason why that backfired on Keefe D's team, the whole Cadillac shit, because remember, they bought this up, right? They bought the Cadillac up, right? That Cadillac got brought up. Well, it backfired on Keefe D's team, right? Now, the reason why that Cadillac backfired, right, on Keefe D's team is for a few reasons, which I'm going to tell y'all right now, right? So, for one, let's talk about the actual, I want to say, explanation about that Cadillac, right? The actual explanation about that Cadillac, right? So the Cadillac, there were two former Las Vegas officers today that were stationed at Suge Knight's house, intended to complicate the vehicle timeline, but instead they testified to seeing a white or cream Cadillac near the scene, corroborating the prosecution's getaway narrative, right? 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 The defense inadvertently bolstered their case by doing that, right? Let me say this to y'all once again, right? They inadvertently bolstered their case by doing that. Also, the white dude I just showed y'all, by him going up there saying that they had enough probable cause to arrest Keefe D in 2009, that destroyed him right there. Arrest him for murder right there. Right? There it is right there, man. And when Darren Long went up there, that was the white guy I showed y'all. Right? He interviewed Keefe D as well. And when he was cross-examined, he testified that he identified the exact same four men that investigators always believed that were inside that car when Tupac was shot. Right? So instead of proving that Keefe D was lying about him being in there, right, or exaggerating the story, the defense's own witness validated that Keefe D's that his insider knowledge was perfectly matched by the police's theory of that crime. That destroyed that nigga, man. That destroyed that nigga, man. That destroyed him, right? Period. Period. Right. Now, also, the same officer, right? The same officer that we're talking about, you guys, on you know, cross-examination, he admitted that he never wrote an official police report about the girl's car being shot up that night. He also admitted that he never formally interviewed the girl and investigated the shooting at the house. Right? Period. That supported the whole prosecution's chaotic narrative. Right? Simple as that. Simple as that. Took 30 years, man. And we might get to the answer we need next week. Like, share, subscribe. RIP to Tupac Shakur. And justice for that brother's family. Hey, we always appreciate the support. And if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch. And make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.